me and I did it my way. Blackball from the game, caught me cast away. Waiting on my downfall, gotta stay ahead. Don't just cut me off, patience hanging by a thread.
What is going on, everyone? It's Johnny Dunn, and we are back with another one. Today, another epic VeVe video. Now, in this video, I just want to cover a couple things. I want to go over the video from Cavell Anderson. Shout out to Cavell, man. I mean, he puts in a lot of work. He's been grinding hard, always got the latest news updates. And in this video, he touches on so many key points that I really want to react to, because in times like these, when the markets are down, there's a lot of new users who might not have experienced a down market before. I think talking to a lot of the OGs and hearing their insight, is so valuable right now, because unfortunately, a lot of times people have joined in the last few months, handful of months, January, February, probably maybe even December. And that's okay too, right? You can never control when you're going to find VeVe. But the only downside about that is you don't know, you haven't experienced, when the common DeLorean was $3 or the Marvel Comics #1 was $1.99 in the market, $1.99. And so I feel like the people that have joined in the last handful of months, they've only seen VeVe, take off and everything sell out and every single half second type thing. Every second drop sells out. That's what they've been used to. And so when things don't sell out right away, people get nervous, people get concerned, scared. But David Yu talks about all the time how every drop isn't designed to sell out instantly, right? Especially when they have a whole kind of marketing campaign and they want new users to come in and they want to have actually something in the store for them to actually buy. I think that's crucial to actually have something in stock, in store for new users, especially Star Wars, right? So I feel like we've seen this time after time again. I feel like this is just an opportunity for so many people that were wishing for these prices. Also, it provides an opportunity for new users who kept saying, like, I wish I was early, could have taken advantage of these low prices. Well, the prices have dropped big time, and this is the next advantage, right? This is the next opportunity. But it's also hard to kind of tell when the opportunity is. It's hard to see the light at the end of the tunnel when things are down, right? Delays, etc. So talking to the OGs and hearing their insight is pivotal. I feel like it's so important. And so Cavell did an unbelievable job. I know people call him a moon boy, right? They call us all moon boys because the OMI prices, we think VeVe is going to be the biggest thing in the world. His $10 OMI prediction, etc. But I think in this video, he did an unbelievable job at really breaking down kind of his insight and just things that he was learned from experience. He's going to say he's not a financial advisor, right? It's not financial advice, but this is just things that he's learned from his experience. And it's things that we've all learned as OGs in here, is that not to panic when things drop down in prices, right? It's okay to kind of reposition your, collection, whichever ones you really believe in or see value in. But I think the people that panic and sell off in fear and uncertainty, that's when they're going to have that regret. I could be wrong, but I think time and time after again, history has showed us that the people that have stayed patient really get rewarded. So I want to break down his video, and we're going to dive into it in just a second here. Again, you guys are probably following Cavell, but if you guys aren't following Cavell, I'm going to put the link to his YouTube channel in the description down below. I don't think he needs that. He's one of the biggest YouTubers, right? Shout out to my man Cavell. Well, we're going to play his video. It's only about 20 minutes long.
What's going on, y'all? I'm Cavell Anderson, and we're back with another VeVe and Ecomi video. Now, first off, I'm not going to make my bed. Listen, I was actually getting ready to go to sleep. I was just laying in the bed, reading through some comments and stuff like that. And some of the comments that I was reading kind of inspired me to make this video, because a lot of people want some advice on certain things. Now, I don't give financial advice ever. This is just my opinions, the way that I look at things and stuff like that. But I do want to tell you all how to how to capitalize on this opportunity that we have right now. A lot of people see a lot of things as bad because most of you all, or a lot of you all who are here, you've never really seen VeVe as anything but successful. A lot of people joined this community when it was just everything was selling.
Under 20.
And he's exactly right. That's the thing. Like, the people that have been here since March, even before March of 2021, we've seen the downtimes, right? It takes a few months. It takes handfuls of months sometimes, but the people that stay patient end up getting rewarded.
Everything was at all-time high. Like, you weren't here doing a struggle in the beginning, a lot of people, because a lot of us who was here from the beginning, most of us are just calm and chilling. Like, we've been here before. We've seen this before. We know what to do right now because we saw it happen before. Like, we're living through something again that you have yet to experience yourself. So, like if I was in a lot of your positions, if I was newer to VeVe, if I wasn't really sure about what was going on, I would be aligning myself with people who are OGs, people who were here in the past, and people who are really like also who fully get it, who fully understand.
And just like you said, it's going to be the ebb and flow, right? We're seeing history repeat itself once again, and it's going to happen again in the future, right? After we have a huge run up, another bull market, things will probably chill out and kind of retrace a little bit more, right? It's just nothing goes up forever and nothing goes down forever. So just think about that, because when we're rising up, going crazy high, so many DMs, so many people are asking me in the DMs, what should I buy? What should I buy? And I was trying to give just my opinions, not financial advice, of course, but a lot of times I was telling people, I'd be careful. Because we're at all-time highs. People just joining wanted to catch on to that FOMO flame of everything going up, but they didn't realize this is the all-time high that we've ever seen in January. So like you said, surrounding yourself with OGs, because then you can see people who maybe make charts, analysis, or see where price history has been before. A Comey Wiki is a great resource. Cherry Charts is another great one, right? So many great resources out there.
So when it comes down to it, like what's happening right now on VeVe makes absolutely no sense. Because let me break it down for you. You all are selling a lot of your NFTs for a loss or for less than you could actually be selling it for, just to go and buy drops that you're going to take an L on. So you're literally you're selling something at a loss. You're selling a bunch of your Grail items at a loss. Like you have people who bought like the Marvel Comics #1 for like what $400, and people are selling it right now for like 120. It's like it makes absolutely no sense. That is still a Grail.
Grails will be Grails. At the end of the day, because you got to think about it, right? That's why it's so important to focus on what you really want to collect or invest in. This is not an investing app, it's a collecting app, right? Not financial advice. That's why it's so important to really focus on the things that you want, because VeVe's going to have everything. It's like a Walmart. They always say, and Amazon has absolutely everything, right? The shelves are filled with all kinds of the greatest things. So when that happens, what are the things that are going to stick out? They're still going to be Grails. A lot of the Grails that we have on the app right now, sure, they're going to dip. And why are they going to dip? Because people need gems for the next new drop. Like you said, people are chasing after those drops. Like today's drop, the poster drop, probably won't be going after the posters just because I don't love the 2D posters. I think they're going to do fine overall, like long term. But in the short term, I think a lot of people are just geared up for that Darth Vader. So because of that, I'll probably be skipping on the poster drop. But, that's the thing. When instead of just chasing the drops, focus on the things that you really want to collect. It might already be in the app. Like we have the FA Joker, right? FA Joker is the top villain in the world, most popular villain, even ahead of Darth Vader. I'm not saying it's going to be more expensive than Darth Vader, but popularity-wise, Joker is more popular. So over time, it's going to be interesting to see, what the Grails are that stand the test of time. But stuff like the Marvel Comics #1, like you just said, stuff that has a historic value, they're always going to be, in demand, in my opinion.
So people are forgetting that this stuff is still valuable. But that's the thing, because people don't understand the markets, because people don't understand the sentiment and things going up and down and stuff like that. They're like, oh, everything loses in value. It's not valuable anymore. Let me just go ahead and sell this stuff and get a little bit of my money back. People are looking at it from that perspective, this exact same way I did with Netflix. I saw Netflix start going down. I got in early. If you don't know the story, I invested in Netflix early. I saw it start going down. I said, oh, let me save a little bit of my money. Fast forward a few years later, Netflix blows up and it's one of the biggest things in the world. So this is a cycle that I've seen time and time again, even outside of VeVe.
When things go down, if you believe in that project, whether it's a stock, real estate, whatever it is, right? If you believe in that project and that whatever it is, and it goes down, that shouldn't scare you. If you believe in it, that shouldn't scare you, right? That should only make you realize this is an opportunity to go harder in it, or to actually go in it at that point, right? Or if you're already in it, just to increase your position in it.
But you have to take your L somewhere. Now, honestly, VeVe is going to be a tough place to take an L because it's so obvious. It's so obvious. These are the biggest brands in human history to ever exist. the biggest brands in human history to ever exist. I'm taking a gamble and I'm taking L's on Netflix, and I'm getting out of Netflix. Like, who could 100% guarantee that a random streaming service would be the next big thing? And that one out of all of them, well, actually, that might have been like the only one at the time. I don't think that it wasn't popular. Netflix popularized it. So yeah, like, but who would have been able to, for 100% certainty, guarantee that was going to do well? Like, on Netflix, I mean, I had a good idea, but there was no being 100% about that. Personally, I'm like, this is like, I don't want anyone to just take my word and go for something, but I feel like VeVe is as 100% as it gets. It's really,
it's common sense. Like, exactly what he says too, guys. Don't just take my word for it either. You guys know me by now. I've been preaching VeVe like crazy, but again,
so you're literally going to watch me earn several $1,000s.
I think it's an
while
ad.
filming this video.
Yeah.
Okay, so just keep this number in mind. We're currently
literally common sense.
He even says common sense, right? Yeah, exactly. In my opinion only, in his opinion only, not financial advice, we think it's common sense, right? Because VeVe has the biggest brands in the world. VeVe's just digitizing decades worth of content from the largest brands in the world. Genius, simple, innovative. You know, it's going to go down as history as one of the biggest revolutionary shifts in our history, probably. Because think about it. For the first time in the world, we're digitizing the largest 250 brands in the world on one app. Unbelievable, right? It seems obvious to a lot of us, but that's because we're in this ecosystem already. This is going to play out in the next handful of years as like groundbreaking stuff. That's why a lot of us have been thinking that there's eventually going to be an Comey documentary on Netflix. Like, he's speaking of Netflix, right? This is going to go down as history, guys. We're in history right now. We're living in, and that's why I said, you know, oh man, shout out to Crypto Far West. What the F is VeVe? Part 1 and Part 2. If you guys haven't checked that out, make sure you guys go check that on YouTube. He got the clip of what I said in there perfectly. I said, like, when you're in history, it's hard to understand that you're actually living in a historic moment because we're in the midst of it, right? It doesn't feel like history. But then 5 years later, when you look back at it, such a revolutionary shift. Everybody's in the digital collecting. VeVe is going to be that app that changed the world. And we're at the ground floor right now, pioneering, shaping this culture right now. All of us, guys. Like, all of us. Everyone in the community, not just us content creators. Literally everybody is a part of this, guys. And we're making this happen. Unbelievable time.
Do you know who Marvel is? Can you ask anybody in your family like what Marvel is? You ask them about these brands on VeVe, and they're going to know some of these brands on VeVe. Yo, what are we talking about? Are they going to want something on VeVe if it comes with value and utility attached to it? Like, if you told somebody in your family, yo, you buy this NFT on VeVe and we can go to the movie theaters or something like that, would they do it? Come on, like.
And see, that's a difference with VeVe, right? Because VeVe has the brands. When people think of NFTs, they just say, nah, stop talking about that crypto scam. I don't want to get involved in that expensive animal picture. Like, that's all they think it is, because that's all they equate it to. That's because NFT branding is terrible right now. But VeVe and platforms like VeVe are going to help change that. They're going to think NFT, okay, it's just a digital collectible from my favorite brand that I've always loved, right? And the utility aspect is game-changing on a whole nother level. Let's go to the movies, but first, let's just get the NFT, the digital collectible, on the VeVe app. Or you have that VeVe app, or or you have that digital collectible on the VeVe app. Let's go to the movies now. Like, let's go to Disney World, right? Unbelievable.
I mean, this is like, all you have to do is just think about the type of the utilities that they could add in to, you know, attract other people. So this is like a sure thing. So basically the point is, what I'm doing right now is it's the accumulation phase. Things are not going to be selling out as much. People are leaving the community. People don't know what to do. People are depressed. People are upset. People are losing a lot of money. The sentiment of the world is changing.
Facts.
So the expectation that the sentiment of the VeVe community should stay the same and stay at this all-time high, as if everything is not. My vault value is down from like 200K to like 60K or something like that.
And just to be transparent, like, everybody's down right now, guys. some of us are still up from what we initially put in. Like a lot of us early OGs are. And like I think my account hit up to $500,000. It hit $500,000 at the peak high in January. And now it's back down to, like 150K. So I mean, I'm still up. I mean, I didn't have $150,000 before this, but technically on paper I still lost like a few $100,000, right? So everyone's down right now. I'm not selling off my collection. If anything, I'm just selling a couple collectibles or comics that I didn't love and I just had gotten for the MCP points or something like that early on, to where I'm kind of shifting that and trying to take advantage on some of the other cheaper collectibles or comics that I don't have yet that are down. So that's kind of what my game plan is right now. Just like you said, accumulation period right now.
But to be fair, like I'm not one of the ones in a bad position out here. I literally invested $3,000 and I turned it into 200K. So I'm in
Solid
a profit
right
still
there.
heavily, so I don't feel it as hard as other people because I was making certain decisions the first time around.
And guys, that's going to be you if you just join and we have a huge run up and then we come back down again, because it's going to be an ebb and flow constantly, right? I think the volatility will chill out and it won't be as volatile, but we're still going to have ups and downs just like the regular stock market does. Real estate, everything goes up and down. So the next bull run we see and then it comes back down retracing, that could be you that might have just joined recently, right?
And that was when I didn't even know what I was doing. I was learning as I was making these decisions. Like, I think, was it once or twice? Like, I think once. Maybe it was once. Maybe twice. I literally wiped out my whole collection, sold everything at losses, or most things at losses, just to buy different stuff because I was collecting anything at first. I had more McCornos, I had Kripkins, I had all types of just random stuff.
And I think we all kind of made that, not mistake, because some people like collecting that stuff, right? I mean, to each his own, right? I'm not saying those things are bad, but kind of like what he said, collecting everything. I think once we got on the VeVe and we started having an idea, a lot of us were just collecting kind of everything that dropped, as opposed to really saying, okay, this is what I really, really love. I don't love that type thing. And now we're kind of being a little bit more specific because we kind of have to be, right? As they release more and more stuff.
Then I really sat down, came up with a strategy, and really figured out who I was serious money.
Seeking Alpha Memorial Day.
Shout out to Cavell and all the ads. Got to get them paid.
Seeking Alpha's.
Once I took the time to figure that out and actually learn who I wanted to be as an investor, that's when things changed for me. I sold all the crap. I made the decision, okay, I'm selling all this crap that I really don't believe in. I don't understand how this is going to become valuable. That's what made me sell my Lucky Secret Rare. Luckily, I sold it before it went down too low in value. But that's what made me sell my Lucky Secret Rare. That Lucky Secret Rare, I used to love that Lucky. It's like, but I didn't understand it. I don't understand why it's valuable, what's going to increase the value in the future. It's like, I'm not a fan of the artists like that. I'm really not a fan of collecting like that. I know these brands, and I know that other people are fans of these brands. I'm going to make money off of other people's fandoms. I like the brands, I like the movies and stuff like that, but I'm not part of the fandom. I wouldn't categorize myself as being part of the fandom. I'm just here to make money. And that's the thing. Like, a lot of people might feel like that's taboo to, oh, you're not really part of the culture. You're not really.
I feel like everyone has their own strategy, right? I feel like everyone has their own reasons for collecting, and that's perfectly okay too. So, shout out to Cavell because, he figured out who he really was as a collector, investor through the journey. And I think that's the most important thing, right? Is, finding out or just being self-aware of what your strategy is, right? Like for me personally, my strategy, I've always had the vision of, I saw this as a way of making life-changing money, but also as a way to make, a steady income, like a passive income the rest of my life. I didn't want to just get to the point where I could just sell my collection and that was it. So that's why for me, I've been trying to build up like a crazy collection museum, because I want to have like a digital museum where people could come in, maybe pay a gem, 2 gems, 5 gems, whatever the case is, however big it gets, right? I want it to be accessible for pretty much everyone. So I want it fairly cheap, but that's why I'm also trying to build my following, because think about if you had 10,000 followers, right? And you add a new crazy collectible to your digital museum and you charge a gem or two. 2 gems at 10,000 followers, and just, you know, say throughout the week everyone came in. That's just one time. That's 20K in that week. Or what about in one day, right? That could be, I'm not saying everybody joins in one day, so maybe say half of that. That's 10K in one day. That's 2 gems a pop, right? So that's just my personal strategy. But again, you know, I'm in this to try to make some money too, but also collect some of the things that I've always loved. So a little bit of both for me, but I think it's important through your journey to really dig deep and try to figure out what your strategy is. And it's okay to try to like change your strategy too, because VeVe's going to change, and it's important to adapt with it.
No, I mean, I am. I'm a fan of VeVe more so than I'm a fan of just any of these brands. Like, I'm a bigger fan of VeVe than I am, because if, like, think of it this way. It's way more views, way more money, way more everything if I start posting Marvel videos. If I start really making Marvel content, it's way more success in that. I'm on VeVe because I love VeVe. I love what VeVe is doing, and I believe
Let's go.
So I literally love VeVe more than I love movies and stuff like that. But
I feel the same way about that. That's why I love the Tide so much. That's why I'm never going to sell the 2 Tide that I have. I have 1 Tide up for sale just because I want to buy back a cheaper one. That's not financial advice. I don't suggest you do that with your big time collectibles. Kind of risking it right now. Trying to sell. I have 3 1,000 mint Tides, and so I'm keeping the 2 1,000 mints that I'm the original owner of. But then my third 1,000 mint, figure on trying to sell it and then buy back the floor, pocket about 1,000 gems, use that for something else. So it's kind of risky because the floors could get swept on Tide any second. So I don't suggest you doing that, but I feel like I'm savvy enough to be able to pull that off. Don't suggest that though, because things can happen. But I'm okay, you know, worst case scenario, because I still got 2 Tides left if that was to happen. But yeah, I feel like that's really, really important right there.
I just believe in VeVe more. So right.
What I really wanted to say right there is that the reason why I love Todd is because I do love VeVe so much. Like, just like he said, I think Cavell, that's why I love Cavell so much too, man, is because when I first found VeVe, right, and I was posting comments all over Gary Vee's Instagram, YouTube, etc., he was one of the people that found VeVe. And that's why I always say, don't just take my word, guys, because I love VeVe so much. Do your own research. Dive into the research, the history of VeVe, Akomi, Alfred Kahn, and come up with your own perception of it, decision of it, what you guys think of it. Because that's exactly what Cavell did, right? It takes an open mind to see a random comment, say, I don't know what that is, but it sounds interesting. Let me find out myself. And that's exactly what he did. He went on to VeVe.me, the website VeVe, where you probably just Googled VeVe, found Batman, was blown away, and dove down the rabbit hole. That's what the world's going to do. They're going to find Spider-Man on the app now, or maybe it's going to be Star Wars in the future. Who knows? But it just takes someone finding something that they're interested in, and it piques something, or it just sparks something, right? Because they're interested in Batman or Spider-Man or Marvel or Star Wars, Disney, and then they go down the rabbit hole and really learn digital collectibles, then eventually NFTs and crypto, and that's how this whole thing starts. VeVe's the floodgates. The floodgates open for us early in 2021. It's going to open for the world over time. So I just wanted to stop that there to touch on why I love VeVe so much, dude, because it's game changing, right? It's changing the entire world, the culture, how people collect. Comic book collectors in the real world are starting to embrace the digital versions, like just like what happened with music. People wanted to touch the tangible CDs, and then they realized I can hold millions of songs from my favorite artists' albums all on my phone and take it anywhere. Digital is the future, whether we like it or not.
Right now, if you're looking to really set yourself up to change your life, this is not the time to be scared to buy things. This is the time where you should be buying more. The problem is most people you buy when you're in a bull run, when everything is super, super high, instead of right now when stuff is super, super affordable where you should be buying, but a lot of people are not buying right now. Markets go down and markets go up. It goes. Julian.
So true. Exactly what we kept saying, right? It's the ebb and flow. Cavell just nailed it on the head right there. And he's 100% right. Let me just get through this ad real quick.
Gordon, with this mortgage, relinquish part of my freedom to say.
So many people, when we had that bull run in January, February, were coming to me saying, what should I buy? You know, and I'm so fortunate and grateful and happy that you guys would ask that. And I was so confused because I was like, this is wild, because just months ago, nobody was buying anything, kind of scared to buy. But then we saw that huge run up and everyone's asking. And it's like, I never gave financial advice, never give financial advice. I'll always just give my opinions, based on my experiences. And I would always say to people, just be careful because we don't know what the top is right now because things will retrace. We just don't know when, right? And that's why I always say, go back on what I said earlier on. If you're just joining or new, or even if you've been here for a while, right? Surround yourself with other veterans, other experienced people. Ask questions, what the previous prices were. Are we at extreme lows or highs? Patience usually gets rewarded.
It's back and forth. It keeps working like this. Cycles happen time and time again. It keeps repeating. We have been through the point where the market was down. We have been through the point where things were falling below retail all the time. Then we got up, went through a bull run, and now they're back down again.
Yep. Guys, this is going to keep happening, right? It'll probably be less volatile. But the DeLorean drop happened, I don't know exactly what month, but early summer, I would say 2021. Maybe like late spring, early summer. Didn't sell out right away, right? There was even more fun because the Common was drivable. Everybody FOMO'd in. Eventually, it did sell out, and then it got taken away, that ability to drive it. People were pissed off, saying they only use it to sell it out, etc. But it was kind of a mistake, I'm pretty sure. It wasn't supposed to be drivable just yet. But that let everybody know that it is drivable. But they didn't care. They were pissed. They said too many editions. Boom, sold it, $3. It ended up being all summer, $3. Then even Superman was sitting at $100 for the longest time. It was like $75, $80. You were like, wait, this is the FA Superman, right? Yeah, but there's 8,000 editions, too many editions. It was chilling at 150 for the longest time. I think the cover girls, all FAs, Catwoman didn't sell out, Batgirl didn't sell out for days. I think weeks, right? People were selling them under retail. I think Catwoman was like $20 at one point. Marvel Comics #1. This is before Marvel got announced. People who said we had Marvel and Disney were labeled as Moon Boys to all of us, right? And then all of a sudden they dropped Marvel, the comic books. We're all excited, like this is groundbreaking. Marvel Comics #1 gets released. It's $2 in the marketplace. Secondary market. We're like, wow. Okay. People are literally saying VeVe's done. VeVe lost momentum. VeVe's sinking. Death of VeVe, right? Then all of a sudden, that was like late summer, I think. The people that held on till Disney announcement in November, even that announcement caused the market to sink even more. Homer and Bart came out, $60 at secondary retail, the first Disney NFT. But then January, February hit. Boom. Another takeoff. Bull market. Things got to all-time highs, and now we retrace back, just like he's talking about. So what do you think the next phase of this is? We're going to just never recover and VeVe's dead? Like, anytime people kept saying on Twitter, VeVe's dead, that's like a bullish signal to me. That's like, okay, this is the accumulation period. We're right before the boom. So it may take, months. It may take 2 months, 3 months, 5 months. Who knows, right? But eventually, in my opinion, not financial advice, things will recover.
This is the first time you all are seeing it down, some of you. So just because you're seeing it down doesn't mean it's time to get scared, throw in the towel, wave the flag, and, give up. This is the time where you understand. You have to make a decision. Like, are you going to follow all the OGs, all the whales, all the people who are successful in this community? Or are you going to listen to your internal instinct that's telling you to run? Because the thing is, you're probably looking at VeVe for an investment. You're looking at this investment to change your life because you've been running your whole life from opportunity.
Woo!
You want to keep taking flight when it's your time? Do you want to keep taking flight? Do you want to be one of these people out here who's going to live with that regret? Because the thing is, I believe in VeVe so much. If I go down with this ship, I really, truly believe that I understood it. I truly believe in this project. I believed in the team. I believed in the brands that this team had. I believe in this so.
This is just my opinion, guys. I almost see it. Nothing's impossible, but I see it almost impossible. How I don't see how it cannot succeed, right? I think that's the same mindset Cavell has. It's almost like It's not a matter of if, it's just a matter of when, right? Because we're so early that things have to be developed still. They grew too fast, guys. They thought they were going to have 30,000 users the first year. We got that in the first couple months. First handful of months.
If I go down with this ship and it goes to zero, I mean, I don't think that I could have made a better decision right now. I really don't believe, like, investing in Ethereum, Bitcoin, I don't believe I could have made a better decision right now. But that's just my level of conviction. So you have to figure out where you stand. You have to figure out where your conviction lies, because this is a fire sale. Everything is discounted. Yeah. When things start going back up, when we're back in a bull run, everything ain't gonna be discounted no more. And you're gonna wish, I wish I would have grabbed a bunch of those. Look at all these guys, Dr. Profit. Look at Dr. Profit. Look at the Todd Father. You get all these people.
Shout out to Ray Fixie.
Send some crypto to a friend. You ask for their numbers and letters.
People who bought.
Shout out to Dr. Profit. Both Todd Fathers. Got a shout out to my guy Crypto Khaki in there too. Dr. Profit, Ray Fixie. Like, these guys are legends, right? And they don't sell panic when things go low. They just buy more. Yeah, they have the ability to, but everybody can do it on their own scale, right? Maybe you don't buy, 100 Winnie the Poohs. Maybe you can afford 10. Maybe you can only afford 5. Maybe it's 2. Maybe it's just 1. But at least, do what you can. Not financial advice, just my opinions only.
Bought a bunch of Todds and bought a bunch of these things when they were super, super low. Then when the bull run came, they started selling off a bunch of them because they had over 100 of certain things.
That's one regret I do have. Not even a regret, but hindsight, is always 20/20. But hindsight, looking back, I wish I did let go of more duplicates at the all-time highs. That's one thing that I got to get better of, is not being emotionally attached. You can't be emotionally attached, but at the same time, I'm a collector too. So I have to fight that hard balance of, like, I want to collect this. No, I need to let this one go to invest in something else, because I don't have unlimited money. So I think for me, that's the biggest thing, is trying to, have that fine line, not be so emotional, and start to, use more logic on some things. Like, I would say the Black Panther is probably one of the prime examples. If you guys look back at that live stream, got the secret rare Black Panther. I literally said on the stream, I should let this go for 3K and buy it back when it dips to 1,000. And I just held on to it, because I like being the original owner or something crazy like that. So for me, I should have said, no, it'd be more valuable if I let go of this for 3K, buy it back at 1K. It dipped to like 1,200 before it's at like 800 right now, before the, the market went down even lower because of the Star Wars drop. But
they literally have
stuff like that. I should be a little bit more, thoughtful about that.
Over 100 of certain items. Like, come on now. They had over 100 of certain items. And they were selling them off like crazy, making 8,000 a pop, like 5,000, 8,000, making all types of money. And they bought it for $60. And you have the time right now to be buying certain things for $60, just like they did. The difference between you, the Todd Father,
they got conviction,
and Dr. Profit, and all the whales in this community, is they're buying at $60. They're buying when things are going to $20. Look at these comic books. We literally have the
Superman was $60 or $50. I bought my Todds for $80, like, just on my own small little scale. That's why I say, it's important to figure out what your, situation is. Maybe you can afford 10, maybe it's 5, maybe it's 2, but at least you have some sort of awareness at that point.
The Fury one at $7 right now. I don't get it twisted. That one's probably not going to go super, super crazy ever. But I mean, when I say super crazy, I'm that's in comparison to Marvel Comics #1. That is what I would call, like, for me personally, that's like a lower tier grail. So it's not it's not like the top level grail. It's like the level of grails right under that. But it's still a decent one. And yeah. So that being said, man, you have to really decide what this type of decisions that you're going to make right now. If you want to capitalize on this opportunity, you believe in this project, you want to make the most out of it. What the whales did is, I'm telling you right now, what the whales did was buy things when they were this cheap, when they were this low. Everything is being sold undervalued right now. You can buy Marvel Comics #1 for $100 right now, and it may fall under $100. Like you can buy Marvel Comics #1 right now for that cheap, and it was like $500 just the comic.
And things like that, they'll probably keep on dipping, right? Depending on what gets dropped. But that's just the micro. It's always like when we go through a span where we don't have big drops, that's when the market starts to rise. Then a big drop happens, retraces back down. The grails don't drop as much, but they still dip a little bit. But then when we go through a span again of no big drops, then they go back up. The grails usually go up the most. Grails will be grails, so I wouldn't worry about the micro dips.
Was just about $500, right? Something like that. So for it to drop this far, that tells you the sentiment. That tells you people bought that for like $500 and are selling it for $100. That's the sentiment. That's the fear. That's people not understanding, or people being thirsty to FOMO into new drops, which is absolutely foolish. These new drops are constantly dropping below retail. We are in a going to keep.
The other thing about that, I don't know why the pause delayed right there. But the other thing about that is so true too is that these drops have so many additions right away that get dropped because there's not that many collectors of them, right? As opposed to maybe finding the stuff in the market that's been there for a while, that there's only the supplies maybe less than 50 that's only available in the market, right? That grails that might have dropped, like he's talking about the Marvel Comics #1, way less supply of them in the market because the collectors are holding on to them because they've been out for months, as opposed to FOMOing into the next new drop that there's so many more of that probably won't do great right away. I mean, it depends on what gets dropped, of course. Like Darth Vader will probably do great, but that's why it's important to really be picky and have a plan.
Going up in value and do really, really well right now. Most chances are people are going to keep buying this stuff and dropping it below retail. I mean, it doesn't even take rocket science to figure that out. Like certain things is going to do well and perform better. Certain things will, though. You have to understand what will and what. Like 70,000 editions and $60 a pop. That was a pretty obvious call, to be honest. 70,000 editions, like it's like people all the time say things like, "Oh, it feels like on VeVe we only have 10,000 people." So, do you think that we're going to get the other 60,000 people at this event that only has 50,000 people? And of these 50,000 people, do you think 100% of the 50,000 people are actually going to sign up to VeVe? And
I think it's talking about the Star Wars lightsabers drop. And that's why I think it's so important to really be specific and kind of focus on the drops that you really think it's worth going for. If you only had a limited amount of gems, I remember saying on that stream, it's probably not the best to gamble for this one. Now, for me, my luck is kind of different, right? You guys have known by now. My luck is just different. That's why I always say I'm an alien. Like, I don't know what's going on. I mean, my luck's always been like that my whole life. But the way I've been getting low mints, secret rares, I went for the drop, and I got a secret rare low mint. So that's the only reason why I went for it. But I think it's important to really kind of really game plan for each drop and try to figure out, is this one worth it gambling on, going for the drop, or is it not? And for me, I like trying to compete on the drops. So if it's not really that competitive, it doesn't really entice me to go for it, unless it's something I really, really want. But I'm more so addicted to the competitiveness, trying to get the drop, as opposed to like the gamble of it.
Out of those who do sign up to VeVe, do you think that they're actually going to buy? All of them are going to buy something for $60? Like it's so many different layers there, where it's like it's common sense. Like certain things, like you just really have to take the emotion out of it, take how you feel about these brands and things like that. And I think that that's what I do well, is separate my emotion. Because I can truly love these brands. I love Star Wars. I love Star Wars. I love how it has impacted my life. I love this stuff. I mean, but at the same time, I can push that aside and think logically about it, because love it's no place for emotion when it comes down to making this money. If you're here to make,
that's the biggest thing, and that's the one thing that I have a hard time with, is separating my emotions from that. And a lot of it's because I'm trying my emotions are based off of my my vision for how I want my collection. I want to have one of the best collections, because that way I'm going to be able to charge a fee to come in my showroom and look at my crazy collection. So for me, it's that tough battle, fine line of like, is this worth it? Is it not? And so also deciding whether or not I love it at the same time too. So it's a constant debate for me. Is this going to be amazing for my showroom even if I don't love it, or I love it and it's not great for my showroom type thing? Like, it's a combination of both. I got to really love it. It's got to be great for my showroom. Even if it's great for my showroom and I don't love it, that's the part where I've been tended to really collect it and then be like, I don't love it, but it would be great in the showroom. That's the part that I struggle with right there, because we can't have the fee for the showroom just yet. We don't know when it's coming. So it could be a while. It's been a little bit now, about a year. But Reese did confirm that it will be here eventually. So I think it'll probably be tied into the Master Collector program, but we shall see. We shall see.
Make money and turn a profit, you have to make decisions that's going to put you in the best situation to do that. So that means now is the time.
Add.
To be buying. If this is the project you believe in, if this is where you did. I've been buying, I've been accumulating. This time around, I have 80 plus of some pieces.
Let's go.
Like, I'm getting to 100. I'm trying to get to my first 100 of certain things, but I'm the one sitting on that right now. You know what that?
See, Cavell is really self-aware of who he is, and that's so important in this. Because I mean, he's in it for investing purposes, right? He's trying to make as much money as possible, and that's amazing. And so I think that's one of the biggest takeaways is try to become self-aware of what you're in this for, because it can get distracting, right? So, like for me, you guys know by now, I'm trying to have an amazing digital museum to where I can earn passive income through that, through an entrance, and also through a bunch of different things, branding, sponsorships, designing showrooms for people, all kinds of things, right? But my main thing is it's all going to be built because I have, the reputation that I've built throughout the years, the amazing collection. So that's really what I'm in it for. But there's no right or wrong answer. Everybody's in their own situation. So I think the most important thing is just become self-aware of yourself and what you're really in it for. So shout out to Cavell for that.
That means that next time the bull run comes around, the same thing that made these whales rich and all that last time, hopefully I'm part of that club next time. Like, that's what I've been spending my time doing. I'm just letting you all know this is how the game works. It goes up and down.
And the things that stack like that are very popular items that you think everybody's going to be fans of, and that took a dip that's affordable now, and there's probably a low supply. I see comics being a huge option right there because of that.
Backwards invest. You are more likely to spend money when it's up because you think that it's going to keep going up. But when it's down, you think that it's going to keep going down. That's why you're hesitant to spend money. But when it's down, that's when the smart money starts investing.
That's the psychology twist.
When you put money in, especially if you know what you're putting money in is valuable. Because if it starts to go down and you start to question it's valuable, did you ever really find it valuable to begin with? That means you didn't really believe it was valuable ever. Like, if you believe in VeVe, you believe in this stuff that you're buying, then you know that it's valuable regardless of what it's priced at right now. So that means that the
price today does not determine its value.
You see it go down. You see it go down in value. You should automatically be like, "Oh, they're crazy. This is a grail. This is a beast. I'm just gonna start copying them. I'm gonna keep buying them. I'm gonna buy them all the way down. But like, if it falls down farther, I'm gonna buy a few more because that's what I did. Like when I was stacking pieces, I'm like, "Oh, this fell down to $20. I'm gonna buy a lot of these. Let me buy 10. Oh, it went down to 15. Let me buy some more. Okay, I'm done buying right now. I ain't got the money. Oh, it's at $13. Listen, anything below $15, I'm buying it all. So, and that's literally how I start acquiring like my multiples and things like that. I would set rules for myself. I would say like, okay, $20, I'll buy that. Then I see it go down to 15. I'll buy that because it's down. Then I would set it like right there. But then if it goes down too much farther under 15, it's like I'm definitely buying this. It was a good buy at $20. It's a better buy at 15. It's a great buy under 15. It's an amazing buy under 15. So, like that's just how I look at it. That was my mindset. So, yeah, I just think that it's important for you all to understand. Your mindset and the decisions that you're making right now is going to determine the position that you're in for the bull run. Because these things are going to go up in value again during the next bull run. They're going to be valuable again. People are going to be having all this hype around it. Now, is there going to be the same level of NFT boom hype like before? Who knows? Like, I mean, but the thing about this company and the reason that I invested in this company is that VeVe has the power and potential to create its own hype.
They could turn on the switch of marketing any second. And when I say marketing, obviously they're doing marketing now. Shout out to Alex and everyone else in the VeVe team, Akomi team, Reese, right? But I feel like they can have Disney, Star Wars retweeted VeVe, and these are just little subtle things, right? Disney tweeted out VeVe one time in November, caused 200,000 people to crash the app, crash the app, whatever you want to say. And so I just can't imagine when we start to really see that ramp up. But again, the VeVe app has to be able to hold it, so be able to sustain that many people coming to it. So it's a matter of time, right?
We don't need the crypto or NFT space to be booming for VeVe to be booming. And that's what you have to understand. There's certain things VeVe can do to get this hot right now. If VeVe released something to actually do some utility, and if VeVe released certain things, these things would automatically start back going up because it's dependent on VeVe. VeVe has the IP. Because VeVe has the IP, VeVe controls the space. Oh yeah.
I feel like VeVe could start the bull run, because you got to think VeVe's going to open the floodgates. So imagine hundreds of thousands of people coming into VeVe, right? And then they understand that these are NFTs on the blockchain. Then they get introduced to crypto. Sheesh.
My bad, y'all. Your boy is super tired right now. I was mad tired even before I made this video. That's why I was getting ready to go to bed. But yeah, hopefully this video made sense. Like I'm tired right now. I don't know if I covered everything I wanted to cover, but if not, I'll do it in a different video. But yeah, that being said, y'all, thanks for watching. Let me know if it was helpful. Let me know if there's any other topics that you all would like me to speak on and cover and stuff like that.
That's all I really want to cover right there. Shout out to Cavell, man. Great video, brother. I'm going to put the link to his channel in the description of this YouTube video, but I think by now you guys already are following Cavell. I just want to put this video out there because I think he touched on amazing points, and I think it's some education that people need to hear. People with experience all say the same thing. So there's so many people that just joined the app that probably haven't experienced a down time, so they're looking for answers right now. And so amazing video. That's all for today, guys, since I'm not going to be going for the drop or live streaming the drop today. Shout out to everyone who is going for the posters. I will be live streaming Sunday's drop, so make sure you guys tune in for that one. Darth Vader FA on the VeVe app. Insane. Appreciate you guys for tuning in today. It's your boy, Johnny Dunn. We out, y'all.